जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, 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 जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, जशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जमुना तीरा वनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे हरे, जय राधा माधव राधे, जय राधा माधव राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा, जय सुभद्रा, जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा, जय सुभद्रा, जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे, जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे, जय गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय, जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, जय प्रभुपाद, श्री श्री राधा भगवान की जय, श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, श्री श्री राधा भगवान की जय, श्री श्री गौरताय की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील गोपाल की जय, समस्त भक्तवृंद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय, हरे कृष्ण. So we are studying Bhagavad Gita, and currently we are in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So far we have covered 15 verses, and we'll move on from there. So this chapter, 10th chapter, is titled The Opulence of the Absolute. So how we can see Krishna in the surroundings or in the material manifestation, how we can see Krishna. So that's the core theme of this particular chapter. Now, just to have quick recap, starting from the Chatushlaki. Krishna spoke Chatushlaki Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and those four verses are 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And Krishna says that I am the source of everything, everything emanates from me. And when somebody would know about this, will engage in devotional service of God. And then he said, so this was Sambandha, understanding our relationship with Krishna. And then Avidaya is how we engage in devotional service. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and this they desire, they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So devotees always engage themselves in discussion about topics of Krishna. That way, they get a lot of delight and enlighten each other. Then, this was Avidaya verse, and then Prayojana. Prayojana means how Krishna received the text. Sambandha means our relationship with Krishna. So, in the 10th verse, Krishna talks about Prayojana, means when somebody is engaged in unflinching devotional service to Krishna, then Krishna gives the understanding by which they can reach Krishna. And then in the 11th verse, Krishna talks about to show them special mercy, I dwell in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. So that way, Krishna destroys all the ignorance from within. So that way, in these four verses, Krishna gives the understanding of entire Bhagavad Gita in the summarized form, in the essence form. That's why these are called Chatushlaki Bhagavad Gita. Now, after hearing these four verses and the discussion prior to that, Arjuna is thoroughly convinced that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and not only that, he was convinced about many other attributes of Krishna. So therefore, after almost 2 chapters, Arjuna spoke, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, and the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm that truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. So all the authorities, it's not like small authority we are talking about. They are the greatest authorities. Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, and Krishna as the supreme authority. Everybody is talking about the same point, that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. And Arjuna is saying that I am accepting whatever you are speaking as truth. I totally accept that. Neither the demigods nor demons can understand you personally. So you are so difficult to understand. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. The supreme person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, and God of gods, and Lord of the universe. We talked about all these different attributes in the last session. So now Arjuna is putting a request in today's verse. We come to today's verse. In the 16th verse, Arjuna is putting a request in front of Krishna, which is going to be the main discussion point for the rest of the chapter. What is that? So Arjuna is speaking. Vaktum arhasi asheshena divya hi atma vibhutaya Vyavidi vibhuti virlokan imam svam vyapyatishasi vaktum arhasi asheshena divya hi atma vibhutaya yadhi vibhuti virlokan imam stam vyapyatishasi vaktum arhasi asheshena divya hi atma vibhutaya याभिर्विभूति विर्लोकन imam stam vyapyatishthasi. Would you like to chant, Mataji? Excuse me.
Vaktam Vaktam arhasi asesena divya he atma vivyutaya yavir vivudvir lokan imam swam vyapatistasi.
Sorry.
Vaktam
Yeah, go
arhasi
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Vaktam arhasi asesena divya he atma vivyutaya yavir vivutivir lokan imam swam vyapatistasi.
Okay. So now coming to word for word, by Srila Prabhupada teacher. Vacuum, to say, arhasi, you deserve, asheshana, in detail, divya, divine, he, certainly, atma, your own, vibhutaya, opulences, yavi, by which, vibhuti, opulences, lokan, all the planets, iman, these, tvam, you, vyapya, pervading, sistasi, remain. So the translation is short, one-line translation. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So that's the request from Arjuna's side, Krishna. Please tell me the divine opulences through which you pervade in all this in the world. So we know God is all pervading. Like Vishnu, he stays everywhere. That's the meaning of Vishnu. So he's omnipresent. So if he's, you know, omnipresent, then he has to be kind of perceived everywhere. So how he can be perceived everywhere in all the material manifestations? That's what Arjuna is asking from Krishna. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So his divine opulences. It's not about anything. It's about opulence, and that too divine opulences, through which, by which he is all pervading. That's what Arjuna is specifically asking from Krishna. So you can read the purport, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have, and through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists particularly concern themselves mainly with the all pervading nature of the Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people.
Hare Krishna. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalita Shri Vishakanitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya, Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Nitinamine, Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatyadesh. Hare Krishna. So, as we are here in this particular verse, here Arjuna is expressing his desire to see the opulences of Krishna in the material manifestation. So, in this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He already have expressed that you are the greatest of all the gods. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the Supreme Truth. Deva Deva Jagatpati. You are Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, here, still Arjuna would like to know more about Krishna. You would like to hear more from Krishna. So, what is he looking for? By Krishna's grace, Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge, and whatever else a person may have. And through all these agencies, he has understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, it's not like by our own effort we can know Krishna. We need to put our effort, and then we need to have mercy of Krishna also. Effort and mercy both are required. And that is there in Bhakti Yoga. In other yoga practice, effort is there. That is our own effort. But a very limited, very little tinge of bhakti is there. Without bhakti, it won't function. But there, it is there, but very, very limited. But when you talk about Bhakti Yoga, it is totally nourished by bhakti. And when our effort is there, though it is very tiny, we get Krishna's mercy and that we can move forward. That's why Bhakti Yoga is not our own effort only. Lot of grace of Krishna is also added to that. That's why it is so easy to perform, because we have a lot of grace of Krishna. So Krishna gave the intelligence, as we heard that Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayate. So Arjuna is so dear to Lord. Why not he will give full intelligence to him? In fact, he is a very eternal associate of Krishna. So now it is mentioned that Krishna gave all the intelligence, because one may be a great devotee or a very spiritually elevated person, but that doesn't mean that person will know Krishna. We know the demigods, the demons, they don't know. The great sages, four Kumaras, they don't know about Krishna fully. They only know up to that extent, to what extent Krishna lets them know about him. So that's the case. It's very difficult to know. Hmm. But when he reveals himself, he gives the intelligence. With that, one can reach. So for him, there is no doubt. Yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all pervading nature. So Arjuna was already convinced about the position of Krishna as the supreme personality of God, all pervading. He is the supremely pure, he is the supreme controller. So all these aspects of Krishna was very much well known to Arjuna, and after hearing from Krishna so far, he was thoroughly convinced. He also had heard from Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narad Muni, and different authorities. He already heard before, and then now he is hearing from Krishna. So he is thoroughly convinced, but still he is asking. People in why he's asking? Because people in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of Supreme. So there are impersonalists. They may not come to the temple. They will appreciate something else, the all-pervading nature of Lord. Like they will sit on the seashore when the sun is setting, and they will appreciate the nature, appreciate the beauty, and saying, yes, Lord is all-pervading. They are impersonalists. Like any natural beauty or anything, natural opulence, big, all those things, and they will say, yes, Lord is all-pervading. So Lord is all-pervading through his light emanating from his body, Brahman, what is it, or Brahmadhyoti. But he himself stays in Goloka, person. Goloka is. So he has a personal Satchidananda Vigra form. He has a form. But the impersonalists, they don't accept that. So they are satisfied with the all-pervading impersonal aspect of it. And in general, we will find many people are like that. They talk about Kaivalya. They think that merging with the Nirakar Brahma is the ultimate achievement at the end of the form of life. So Brahma Sayuja is the target for those people. And they also talk about um, Purushartha, right? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Chatur Purushartha. Dharma, Artha means live your life in a religious way, earn money, hmm, and enjoy. Kama, Dharma. Then Dharma, Artha means earn money in a religious way. Then Kama, enjoy life. And Moksha, at the end of the life, get liberated. What is that liberation? Merge with the Brahman. So that is impersonal idea. So Arjuna is speaking from those people's perspective. We also see that in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, it starts with all pervading nature of love. So, you know, all pervasive there's of the aspect of Lord, the Brahman feature of Lord. And most people, not all people, but those who come little bit in contact with the Lord's opulence and all, who has faith in that, they start with the Brahman feature of Lord. And more people are there in that category. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam gradually pulls them towards the Supreme Lord. So the first chapter of second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam talks about the all pervasive form of Lord or feature of Lord. Then Lord in the heart in the second chapter. That is the Paramatma feature. And then in the third chapter, it talks about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Gradually, one is pulled towards Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has a Satchidananda form. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through different agencies. How Krishna exists everywhere in all his agencies. So one should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. So for the sake of common people, Arjuna is asking this. He is already convinced. He doesn't need any further explanation. But out of his compassion, he is asking this question so that the common people would get benefited. Like us, we can get benefited because Arjuna asked those questions and Krishna answered. That way, by hearing those answers, we will get benefited. So that was the intention of Arjuna to ask this question from Krishna. So then Arjuna continued. He's saying, Katham vidyam aham yogim tam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintayasi bhagavan maya. Katham vidyam aham yogim tam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintayasi bhagavan maya. Katham vidyam aham yogim tam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintayasi bhagavan maya. Would you like to chant, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. कथं विद्यामहं योगिं त्वं सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्त्यसि भगवन् मया कथं विद्यामहं योगिं त्वं सदा परिचिन्तयन् केषु केषु च भावेषु चिन्तयासि भगवन् मया.
So the word for word is Katham, how, Vidyam aham, shall I know, Yogim, O supreme mystic, Tvam, you, Sada, always, Parichintaya, thinking of Keshu, in which, Cha, also, Bhaveshu, natures, Chintayasi, you are to be remembered. Bhagavan, O supreme, Maya, by me. So the translation is, O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? O supreme personality of God. So he's asking here, how can I think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? There are many forms you can see all along. In what are the different forms I should see you? I can remember you in those forms. What are those forms? O supreme personality of God. He's asking this to Bhagavan. So, the purport Srila Prabhupada is writing, as it is stated in the previous chapter, the supreme personality of Godhead is covered by his Yogamaya. So, we cannot see Krishna with our naked eyes. And those who were there when Krishna was there on this earth, many of them could see Krishna, but they could not see Krishna as the Supreme Lord, like Duryodhana. He saw Krishna, but he could not see Krishna as the Supreme Lord. He thought like he may be a mystic person. It's a very powerful person who is having some mystic power and all. That's it. So Krishna is covered by Yogamaya. And because of this covering, normal person cannot understand him as he is. So only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. Those who are surrendered, those who are devotees, Krishna cannot hide himself from them. Like we have the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're Nitya Siddha. They're Nitya Siddha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to tell, I am just a human being. He never used to say I am God. But in front of devotees, he could not hide. Sometimes he would do voluntarily. There was a Mahaprakash Leela where he manifested his divine opulence. But that was his voluntary desire, so he did so. But as if in an involuntary way, also many times, as if the words are slipping out of his mouth that he's the Supreme Lord and all those aspects. Because he's a Channavada, he is supposed to hide everything. But still people come to know about all his leelas and his teachings and everything. People come to know. Hmm? And those who come to know, they are not like ordinary. Those are devotees of Lord. So in front of those devotees, Krishna cannot hide his opulences, his secrets. And they become very well known to the devotees, and then rest of the people would come to know about Krishna from those devotees. So that's the way. For rest of the people, he's covered. But the devotees may know who is Krishna, where is Krishna. Hmm. Only surrendered souls and devotees can see him. So we need to surrender to see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is the supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general purpose by which the all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. So common man has to understand also, because they need to develop some faith or initial faith, whatever they have, they need to develop that faith. And they cannot be pure devotee immediately, become serious in their devotion. No. Many of the devotees are there who are new, they come and go, come and go, come and go, off and on, off and on. So they need to be convinced Krishna's existence everywhere. And for that purpose, Arjuna is insisting Krishna to tell more about himself. So Krishna is the supreme Godhead, but he wants to know the general process by which all pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Now, common men, including the demons and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yogamaya energy. So Krishna is guarded by his Yogamaya. There's a covering. And because of that, the demons, atheists, basically those who are not devotees, they cannot understand Krishna. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. Those who are demoniac in nature, but somehow or the other has some faith in Krishna or in the scripture, then they will gradually come to know about Krishna by hearing these messages. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. Like we talk about Prahlad Maharaj. So he said, Bonam Charanti Vijane Pararthanishta, means those who are kind of selfish, they just stay in solitary place and then they just engage in bhajan kriya and all. They are not having pararthanishta. They are not doing any benefit for the other persons. They are just trying to do something good for themselves. So These people are selfish because they are not thinking about others. But acharyas and the devotees, pure devotees, they are not like that. They would like to deliver others also. When Prahlad Maharaj was delivered, he was asking for his father, who was very sinful, how this, how his father can be delivered. So they are concerned. The pure devotees are concerned like that. Common men, including the devans and atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by Yogamaya energy. Again, these questions are asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding but for the understanding of all mankind. So they want this benefit should reach to everybody. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for common man the understanding of all pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. Now Arjuna could have just acted in a very miserly way. That Krishna, you are dedicatedly serving me by answering my questions. So why not you keep on doing that? I don't want to share this knowledge with anybody. He was not like that. He was very broad-minded. He shared everything with others. He is not miserly person. So, and this is the way he is sharing by asking Krishna to narrate more and more. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for the common man understanding of the all-pervasiveness of the Supreme Lord. So common men may not understand the Leela part and all, but they can understand the all-pervasiveness. So therefore, for the benefit of those who are believer of all pervasiveness, Arjuna is trying to assist so that Krishna can speak some words which can help them. He addresses Krishna specifically as yogi because Sri Krishna is the master of Yogamaya energy, master of, as he says, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyata se Charachara. Hetu Nandana Konteya Jagat Viparivarti. So, even the Mahamaya is under his energy. Similarly, Yogamaya is also under his energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. So, this Yogamaya covers and uncovers based on the um, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. This common man may or may not be able to see based on whether Yogamaya is allowing or not. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. So, to think about Krishna, one has to develop love for Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. So, that materialistic person cannot think of Krishna, therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic persons of this world. The words Keshu Keshu Cha Bhavishu refers to material nature. The word Bhava means physical things. Like we say Bhava Sagar or Bhava Tobi. Atobi means forest and Bhava means the material existence. So forest path of or forest of material existence, Bhava Tobi. Bhava Sagar sometimes is compared to Sagar ocean or sea. So this Bhava Sagar is the ocean-like material existence, like that. And Bhava is also Lord Shiva, through whom the material existence comes into picture, or the living entities are created. And Bhavani is wife of Lord Shiva, like that. The namings are given. So devotees are working under the influence of internal potency of Lord. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakrimash. So devotees are engaged under the internal potency of Lord. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. So cannot think about Krishna uh, because they are absorbed somewhere else. So they'll have to think in a material way. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic person of this world. The word keshu keshu te bhaveshu refers to material nature. The word bhava means physical things. Physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they cannot understand spiritually. How come? Because they are seeing matter all around and they have faith in matter, not on spirit. So how come they will understand Lord in everything, as in pervasive way? He's existing everywhere. How will they understand that? The word keshu keshu te bhavishu refers to material nature. The word bhava means physical things. Because materialists cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representations. So they should try to see um, how Krishna is there everywhere. Those who are new, specifically for them, they can see how Krishna is all pervading in everything. They can see that. So next verse is verse number 18. So Arjuna is saying, Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyya kathaya triptirhi sunranto nasti me mritam. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyya kathaya triptirhi sunranta nasti me mritam. Would you like to chant, Pataji?
विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूय कथाय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम् विस्तारेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूय कथाय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्.
Okay, so the word for it, Vistarana, in detail. So Arjuna asking to Krishna to tell in detail. Don't leave any detail. Tell everything in detail. Atmana, your yogam, mystic power, vibhutim, opulences, cha, also, uh, Janardana, one of name of Krishna is Janardana, killer of the atheists. Then Bhuya, again, Kathaya, describe, Tripti, satisfaction. He certainly, Shunnatva, hearing, Na asti, there is not me, my Amritam, nectar. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada is, O Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your appearances. I am never satisfied. I am never satiated. I am never satiated hearing about you. But the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So here, Arjuna is hearing again and again, and he wants to hear more and more. He is not satisfied. Just Krishna Katha is enough for him. And he just wants to hear more and more, quantity wise. But when you hear the stale materialistic stories, a materialistic mm, aspect of this world, very soon we become tired. We want to change topic. Mm. So we think that by changing topic, going by different topic, we'll be happy. Mm. But those who are devotees of Lord, they always talk about Krishna, think about Krishna, and that way, transcendently, they become happy. And that happiness is eternal. That doesn't get diminished because this is spiritual happiness. Material happiness is temporary and it keeps on changing. If I am happy with this today, I'll be happy with that tomorrow. So that keeps on changing. The items keep on changing. A person in the beginning of their life, when they're child, you can understand how what their surroundings are, what their what kind of surrounding they have, and they have certain people. Let's say they're happy with them. Hmm? Okay. What about like let's say 5 or 10 years old, and they have certain people around them, and they're happy with them. What about that person becomes 60 or 70? The entire set of people around them will be changed, and now they will find they're happy with somebody else. They're doing something else. They're happy with somebody else. They may not think about it. That's the problem. They may not think about it. Okay, with whom I was surrounded when I was 5 or 10 years old, and how I was happy. How did I understand happiness? Now, what is my situation? Now, what is my situation? I have a different set of people all around me. Previously, I was having father, mother, grandfather, all the elderly people when I was child, and I was happy with them. Now I am 70 or 70 plus, and I have mostly all junior people. My son, daughter, and then grandchildren. I'm surrounded by them, and I'm trying to find happiness in them. So my source of happiness got changed. But those who are intelligent, right from the beginning of their life, they're always happy with Krishna only. That's that's why devotees are always happy because their object of happiness has not changed. They're always happy with Krishna, that eternal Lord with whom they are going to seek happiness in serving Him eternally, even after death. So, in this verse, Krishna is saying, Arjuna is saying, "Oh Janardana, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words." So that's what transcendental subject matter, they don't become stale. If you talk about the movie, hmm, people may say a lot of hype there may be for a particular movie which got released newly. And then one, two, three times, four times, if somebody's watching, then after that they'll say, "Oh, it's too much. It's boring. I don't want to see anymore." But Krishna Katha is not like that. You hear like different stories of Krishna, like killing of Agasura, killing of Putana, Bakasura, mm, Kaliya, killing of Kaliya demon, and other pastimes like Govardhan Lila, Damodar Lila. We keep on hearing, keep on hearing. We don't get tired of hearing. That's the advantage of Krishna Katha. But those who are devotees, they want to hear more and more. Quality wise, fine. This is what I am looking for. But quantity wise, I want more. But when you talk about material aspect, we may have an illusion that if I have more, then I'll be happy. Not necessary. It's not like people will accumulate a lot of money and that way they will become happy. On the other hand, often it is seen that they are happy with something today, tomorrow they may not be happy with the same thing. So, from quality perspective, their focus will keep on changing. I'm happy with this today, I'll be happy with that tomorrow. The quality aspect is changing. And what to talk about quantity? When we are not fixed about the specific thing that it is going to give me happiness eternally, then how can one derive permanent happiness out of it? Hmm? So that's a matter of improvisation. Yeah? We need to think that where are we heading towards? What is temporary? What is transient? Hmm? Are we after something temporary, that we are running after illusion? Just like we may run after marriage in the desert and we'll get distracted, we'll be covered by illusion. So these scriptures, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the scriptures, they are trying to remove those coverings of ignorance. As Krishna says, Nasami Atma Bhavasta Jnana Vipanavasa. So reality becomes distinguished from illusion for the benefit of all. That's the benefit of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. It removes all the ignorance from the heart. So that way, Krishna Katha is nectarian, is transcendental, is nectarian, and more, as we hear, we get more and more interest in that, more absorption in that, instead of getting bored out of it. So we get more and more attracted towards it. So in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, a similar statement was made to Sutta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisara, headed by Sonaka. So we know Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, first time of recent past. And then there was a sage, Sutta Goswami, who was present when Parikshit Maharaj was hearing from Sukdev Goswami. And that Sutta Goswami came to Naimisharanya when next time he spoke about Srimad Bhagavatam. And the questions were raised by Shonaka the Rishi. Shonaka was the leader of the sages assembled out there in Naimisharanya. And sage Shonaka were asking questions, and Sutta Goswami was answering those questions. So, in that comes that statement, Vayam tu na vitrapayama uttama shloka vikrame yat shunnatam rasajnanam yat shunnatam rasajnanam sadhu sadhu pade pade. So one can never be satiated, even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. He is Uttama Shloka. He is praised by excellent prayers, choicest prayers. That's why he's called Uttama Shloka. Uttama means top class, best of the kind. And Shloka, verses. So he is praised by the choicest verses. So one can never be satisfied. One can never be satiated, even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. So Lord Anantadev, he has thousands of mouths, and in those, with using those thousands of mouths for the eternity, he is singing the glories of Krishna, and he is not satiated. So that's it is as it is says, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. And it is not only Ananta, it is full of bliss. It's full of unlimited bliss. It's a matter of relishment, how we can relish, how much our consciousness is developed. Based on that, we can relish. Those who have entered into the transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. We saw in the Chaitanya Lila Though Lord is Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but how he relished, and other devotees, Sarvabhauma, Ramananda Rai, they were also assisting Lord to relish. So, for that one has to be absorbed, enter into that pastime. Srila Rupa Goswami used to enter into the pastime. So much so that he's absorbed, and one time he was laughing when he saw something in the interaction of Krishna and Radha. He was laughing. And he was not so much absorbed externally. He was internally totally absorbed. And there was an old Brahmana who was passing by, and he saw, and he was like in a handicap, and he saw Rupa Goswami was laughing. So he felt offended that, due to my handicap situation, ah, Rupa Goswami is laughing at me. So he became offended. He complained to Srila Sanatana Goswami later. But Rupa Goswami was totally absorbed in that, and but his devotion got impacted. He got disturbed. So then he later on figured it out after asking Sanatana Goswami and all. Then he figured it out that that Brahmin got offended, and because of that he is getting disturbed. So uh, absorption is so much that he was externally not aware of that. Uh, More so, it is like when Rupa Goswami used to write, like Nectar of Devotion and other books he wrote. So when he used to write, when he is is writing something very nice, the rasa is very nice. It's like hasa rasa, like very pleasant mood. Then the trees used to blossom, used to bear flowers and all. And when he used to write something of very sad, because in Lila a lot of rasas are there. So when the Karuna rasa is there, or some very sad rasa is there, then the leaves and all used to fall from the tree. It used to look like a dead tree. So even the mood in the heart of the devotee is being followed by the nature. What to talk about Lord? When Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna is to roam around in Bhumma Vrindavan, then the trees used to give a lot of fruits, and due to the heaviness, the weight of the fruits, they used to bend down. And Krishna used to praise those trees. See, they are so dedicated to Lord Balaram, and out of their devotion to Lord Balaram, they are bending down to offer obeisances to Lord Balaram. Actually, they are offering obeisances to Krishna, but out of humility, Krishna used to say like that. Hmm? So the nature used to follow the mood of Lord. And when he is very expressive, then what to talk about it? When he used to express this, or when he used to play his flute, everything used to get stunned. We never ever have seen, maybe one place we can talk about the Niagara Falls, right? The river we can see is frozen. So even though there are a lot of water falls in the Niagara Falls, but when it's a winter or some special time when it's totally frozen, then it's like frozen. Water doesn't flow. But these are like rare cases we can see. But when Krishna is to play his flute, river Jamuna is to get stunned. Water would stop flowing. Birds would stop singing. Everybody will be stunned. And the only one business they want to do, and that is hear the sound vibration coming out from the flute of Krishna. So that's the way nature used to adjust itself as per the mood of Krishna to facilitate his pastimes. That's the way it used to work. Not only that, even there are places when Krishna would go very quickly from one place to another place in Gokul or Vrindavan, or his associates would cover long distance very quickly. How? Because at the time the entire Bhumma Vrindavan was like a lotus flower. It used to contract and expand based on the desire of Krishna to facilitate his pastimes. So when the places are coming together, the whole lotus is contracting. So then it's very easy to go from place to place like that. Now there are places where it is mentioned in Krishna Lila, very quickly they move from that place to, like in the Kalia Daman Lila, going to the river bank or bank of Kalia river. It would take a long time where Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj was there. But they moved very quickly because Krishna was facilitating the entire pastime. That way they moved very quickly. So it is all about facilitating Krishna's pastime. Everything used to align to assist him in his pastime. So the devotees would relish those pastimes as then our acharyas especially. When they meditate on those pastimes, they would relish very much those pastimes. They get absorbed. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, another prominent acharya of us, he would enter into the pastimes and he will speak what Krishna, he will read the mind of Krishna, and he would say, okay, if Arjuna is saying this, then Krishna's point will be like this. Krishna would say this. But it is not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. But he is reading the mind. He is reading between the lines. He would explain like that. That is the capability of great acharyas we have in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara. And they are basically already Siddha Purush. In fact, they are some of them are gopis. And they already know everything. But they came to assist Krishna in his pastime. So they will reveal all the secrets, which are very, very exciting and deeper in understanding. But in their pastime, they will be, I mean, in Chaitanya Lila and later on Acharyas came, they are totally absorbed in Krishna's pastimes. And they will write literatures like that. So much so that if somebody would read those literature, they will also get absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So powerful. So that way they would relish every step the descriptions of the pastimes of Lord. Lord's pastimes are so relishable that Lord himself will get stunned to hear those pastimes. That's the history of Lord Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra. When they were trying to hear the pastimes, as Mother Rohini was telling this to the wives of Krishna in Dwarka, they just were trying to hear that from a hiding place. But they heard, and when they heard, they went into ecstasy. Their eyes became round, their hands and legs went inside. That's the state of uh, Lord Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra. Narad Muni by the time appeared in that place and he requested Lord that you please appear on the earth in this form. Hmm? So this is already recorded by Narad Muni and he requested, and then Lord manifested in Daru Brahma form, the Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. They came and the Rathayatra is celebrated where we can see Lord Jagannath coming out when he is extending his hands to embrace the devotees. He is in a very merciful mode, highly compassionate mode. So, Lord gets absorbed by hearing his pastimes. What to talk about devotees? Same happened with Lord Ramchandra. When the Love Kush were singing Ramayana, Lord Ramchandra came out of his throne and he was sitting with the audience and he was just hearing, he was stunned. And others were just putting their hand on Lord Ramchandra as if he's another audience, just another audience. They became very casual, and Lord Ramchandra is relishing that. Same happened with Krishna also. When Madhukanta and Snigdhakanta, they were singing the glories of Lord, Krishna sat in the audience and he was also hearing. He was also relishing Krishna Katha. So Krishna Katha is so relishing that devotees of Lord, even by the Lord himself would relish Krishna Katha. So that's the case. So thus Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. That's what Arjuna would like to know. How he remains all-pervading everywhere. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. As Prabhupada said, if it is a sweet, any sweet, it will be sweet. You can taste it from any side, it will be always sweet. So Krishna Katha is always like that. Whatever story you hear about Krishna, it is always sweet, nectar. And this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Pratyaksha avagamam dharmam susubham kartumabhyam. So when we perform devotional service, we can directly experience that. Similarly, Shravanam or hearing Krishna Katha is direct devotional service. And we experience that practically, directly, we relish that, we become blissful. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastime of Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires hearing about Krishna. Same Agasura story, same Bakasura killing story, same Putana killing story. They're going on for centuries. People are hearing again and again, but it doesn't become stale or old. So, um, it is for this reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with reference to the pastimes of incarnations of Godhead. So, Lord's pastimes are there in the history, and that way it becomes very, very relishable. The Puranas are histories of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. Hmm. Puranas, we find a lot of different pastimes of Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated readings. So, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hear from Gadadhar Pandit about Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, 50 times, again and again he used to hear, and it was always fresh because this is transcendental subject matter. And that way, Lord was giving the example of that fact that as it is transcendental subject matter, you can keep on hearing again and again, and will never become tired of hearing that. We need to have right mood. Hmm. If we don't have right mood, then actually we are hearing everything in a material mode. Then we'll become tired. But if we are really in transcendental mode, we'll not become tired. We'll relish and we would like to hear more and more. Okay. So with that, I'm going to pause over here. We already have completed verse number 18. We'll start from 19 next time. So let me see if there is any question. Any question, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji.
No question? Hare Krishna, Mataji? No question?
No, Prabhuji.
No. Okay. Thank you then for joining the class. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.